And अभी very recently, अब ये सवाल है जो आप तीनों के लिए, Mr. Tawar and Mr. Khurram, I'd love to have you as part of this as well. अभी recently youth symposium किया था Government of Sindh के Youth Affairs Department ने along with Pathfinders International and UNFPA. उन्होंने ये चीज़ पुश किया कि public private partnerships अब ज़रूरी है. अभी थोड़ी देर पहले इजाज़ भाई के पैनल में भी मुफ्ता साहब ने यही बोला है कि public private partnership education में ज़रूरी है. There is no other way beyond it. Even अगर आप देखा जाए तो IBA is one of those examples, right? So how do we actually encourage everybody over here who's sitting in the front, because we have a lot of business leaders who walked through this hall today. How do we convince them, and how, of course, you're business leaders as well, would you actually come into a public-private partnership with your organization, with the government, to actually push resources towards students?
Thank you for asking the question, and thank you for having me on the panel. In fact, thank you, Ijaz, for inviting me to the CEO Forum. This is the first time I'm attending such an event. Really impressed and very excited to be here on stage. So the answer is yes. But I do want to say we need to start with the why. Right? Last week I was reading a book by Simon Sinek. The title of the book is Start with the Why. And it has also been rated as the bestseller. So why is it important? Because it is very important whether it's public, whether it's private, whether you are part of the academia, as Dr. Zaidi rightly said. You need to understand what is in it for me. Right? Once you go through that self-realization process, there is conviction, there is inspiration, and that drives the change. Right?
Yes.
For any transformation to happen, it is really important to have that self-realization. But the short answer is yes, absolutely yes.
Yes, and I think it's important that everybody else over here in the room also looks at this. अगर आप चाहते हैं कि आपकी organization इस चीज़ के अंदर काम कर सकते हैं, हमारी जो आगे future generation है, it's moving forward at a pace that we can't even think of. ये तो Mr. Akbar, you must be experiencing it on a daily basis at university. तो ऐसी situation में जैसा आपने बोला है, obstacle नहीं डालना है, मदद करना है, making them move forward. Very necessary that we all talk about, and I hope inshallah next year we do bring them on the panel and have you there again. So Mr. Khurram, back to you. All right, so हम sustainability के हवाले से बात कर रहे थे. अब ये हमें पता है कि हर बंदा जो इधर बैठा हुआ है उसने कहीं ना कहीं ये लफ्ज़ देखा है, किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में देखा है, किसी ट्रेनिंग में देखी है, अपने कंपनी में देखी है. We are quite a performative country, right? जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. हमारे दिमाग में यही चल रहा होता है. And we try कि हम actual काम ना करें. We don't really go below surface level. तो सबसे पहले मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि पाकिस्तान में how important is that need to push through the surface level when it comes to these sort of discussions on sustainability, क्योंकि उसमें SDG 5 भी है, उसमें SDG 3 भी है, education, health, quality, infrastructure, everything comes in it. What is your take? This is Mr. Khurram.
Go after her.
I have a special question for you.
Thank you. Look, there are a lot of business people sitting here who have done wonders in their industry. The way I would define sustainability is how we defined safety 25, 30 years ago. It was always the #1 priority. I think sustainability is the new safety. Right? It's so important, right? It's not an option, you got to do it.
Absolutely, compliance.
Yeah, compliance, right? And it's also, I think the world got really shook up on this topic when we went through the crisis of COVID-19, right? That is when everybody started to worry about their own health. So it started with yourself, your business continuity plans. Everybody was taken aback by whether they're going to survive or not, right? That's how the notion of sustainability took center
For the
stage.
first time, toilet rolls went out of stock.
Toilet rolls went out from supermarkets in the US. People didn't know if the business will survive, if they themselves as humans will survive or not. So I think that's where it took a lot of resonance during the crisis. Now, why is it becoming important? Because look at what is happening in our climate, right? Let's just talk about one big aspect of sustainability, which is carbon. 2025 was probably one of the warmest, hottest here in the history of ever since the world has come into existence, right?
Yeah.
And carbon is causing that in a very bad way. Right?
But don't you think that has reduced in the last 20 years? इसकी findings Time magazine में भी आई हैं that our emissions and chlorofluorocarbon जो CFC आपके chemicals हैं वो भी कम हुई हैं. Do you think there is any sort of trend in that direction?
देखिए relatively कम हुई हैं, no doubt, but you have to look at the ultimate problem, right? There's a hole on the ozone layer. All the climate catastrophe that are happening. When it rains, it doesn't stop.
Bilkul.
When there is heat, there is excessive heat. There's so much of heat in California that houses were burned out because of fire that originated from heat, right?
Yeah.
There is glaciers that, I mean, I can go on the list of what's happening from a climate standpoint, but sustainability is important, right? So if you look at it from the aspect of other secular trends, it's not only sustainability, but it's also how do you define it, right? Urbanization is such a big trend, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, even in a country like Pakistan, a lot of people are moving from rural places to live in the big cities. So the big cities need to get ready from an infrastructure standpoint, from a transportation standpoint, from an education standpoint, from a healthcare standpoint. So every business segment has to be sustainable enough. You think about transportation, airports. Do our airports in the country, can they sustain what is needed, right?
We try to sell tourism in our country and we can't sustain it because we don't have the infrastructure for it. We don't have billionaires who come to Pakistan. It's always hitchhikers who come. There's very low quality of the sort of tourism that is coming into Pakistan because of this issue.
Right.
But अभी आपने कहा है कि big cities need to be prepared. I feel like इधर हमारा मसला है कि एक कराची, लाहौर, इस्लामाबाद के अंदर आपका again, 249 million people is a large number to fit into just 3 cities. We need more cities. We need to develop many more spaces where people don't have to leave their families to actually succeed. They can succeed within their own hometown as well. So it's like infrastructure development all across Pakistan. So sustainability is not something जो बस सिर्फ अभी हम करेंगे and just okay ठीक है we'll just get compliance sorted or anything. It's something that will build our future. It will make or break our future. And every day, do we all agree that Karachi is becoming more and more unlivable by the day? Road के issues हैं, कितने पानी के issues हैं, 10 issues हैं, and this is the financial hub of the country, right? So अगर इसकी ये हालात हैं, and this is because of the lack of sustainability. अभी गुल प्लाजा का इंसिडेंट हुआ है, one of the biggest examples जो मैं दे सकती हूँ कि उधर कितने सालों से उनके फायर सेफ्टी इश्यूज थे ही नहीं. आप किसी भी बिल्डिंग में जाए, अगर अभी आग लग जाए, do you know where to run from? Do you know where to go? You know that you can't just run, you have to crawl out. These small things make or break the whole situation, and this all comes under this area of sustainability.
Exactly. I just want to add another perspective and taking a lead from what Dr. Zaidi said earlier. So how do you deliver this, right? How do you execute this in practical terms? I think the best way to accelerate our path on sustainability is to leverage technology, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a real-life example of airports, right? Dubai is, I live in Dubai. I took a flight to come to Karachi. They are going to build the world's largest airport, right? And 170 million passengers will pass through that airport with 5 runways. That has never happened anywhere else. Atlanta, Heathrow, you can compare it to any place. But they are testing the technology that will go in that airport in 2030 today. So when you check in from Emirates Business Class Lounge, you have a frictionless access all the way to the aircraft. You check in on your app, on the phone. You don't have to stop at immigration counter. There are cameras with artificial intelligence installed at the immigration. There is they call it a tunnel. You pass through a tunnel. You have zero human interaction, and you can go all the way. That's how you will be able to pass through 170 million passengers through the airport infrastructure. So technology, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, I work for Bureau Veritas, which is the leading testing inspection certification company in the world. Inspection is a very manual activity in nature. And we have been inspecting assets, may it be industry, may it be building and infrastructure. Historically, we would send people who would take measurements, take pictures, take thicknesses. But today, we are using drones, because sometimes you have to inspect assets that are at very high location or they're in confined spaces. We have robots.
So many human lives are saved because of that.
Safety is another big aspect, right? That's a prime target. But you can also use robots to go inside pressure vessels, to go inside refinery, boilers, all those places where a human person would go, and you would always have the fear, usko chot lag jayegi, nuksan ho jayega, sahi measurement aayegi ya nahi aayegi. So every field you pick up, right? May it be industry, may it be infrastructure development, may it be our particular testing inspection industry.
Bilkul.
Technology is going to change the game.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad to hear what Dr. Zaidi said, how the academia is shifting towards bringing that practical aspect of technology while students are still at school.